Welcome to Haltech Elite NSP Training Part 75. In this training tutorial, we're going to take a look at how we can set up and work with advanced water meth injection control strategy, controlling the water meth pump directly through a solid state relay and a pulse width modulated output to achieve the desired characteristics of our water meth as we're spraying it into our engine. We have a lot to talk about here. Let's jump in so we can check this out.
Okay, so let's get started. We're going to be taking a look at setting up a water meth injection system with our Haltech Elite and NSP software. We're specifically in this tutorial doing an advanced view at water meth injection and how we can control a water meth pump directly from our Haltech and then being able to bring that water meth solution into our engine. So there's a lot of setup here, a lot of configuration details in the software that we have to get right. We're going to take a look here in a few minutes at a schematic of the components that you need to purchase and then how to tie those in to the Haltech so we can retain a fail-safe strategy and the ability to control the water meth injection pump and the spray into the engine. Now, just quickly, what we talked about in our last tutorial, looking at a basic overview of integrating a water meth injection kit such as an AEM or Aquamist into our Haltech Elite. So that was allowing that kit to work in unison with the Haltech. This is controlling things directly, so definitely different strategy of what we want to work with here. But what we've talked about in that last tutorial, the idea of what we're accomplishing with our water meth injection. Now, water meth solution is going to have a two-part effect. One, we're going to get more octane out of our same fuel that we're dealing with, so 91, 93 octane. We'll boost up our octane at least 5 to 10 points, giving us the ability to run more boost and or more spark timing. And we're also finding we get a cooling effect. So the water is going to absorb some of the heat in our intake tract, and it's going to therefore put a denser charge into our engine and therefore give us a little bit more power production and power potential out of the same boost pressure that we're running. So we definitely want to run water meth injection. It has its benefits. Now, when we're spraying our water meth solution, we're going to find that we have to do a couple different things. We have to increase our spark timing to take advantage of the water meth as it's spraying into the engine. That's going to give us the ability to run more cylinder pressure, more horsepower and torque production out of our engine. If we don't increase our spark timing and or boost, we're not going to make any additional power. So we usually want to bump the boost up, bump the spark timing up. If you're supercharged, well, you'll just be bumping the spark timing and not changing the boost. If you're spraying the water meth injection, you're also going to have to offset our fuel delivery. So we have a certain amount of fuel coming through our port fuel injectors. And if we're spraying our water meth solution, the methanol has the ability for combustion within the engine. And therefore, it's going to richen up our mixture because we have both petrol fuel and methanol coming into the engine at the same time. In this situation, we need to reduce the fuel through our port injectors to be able to compensate and offset that additional fuel that's being sprayed into our engine from the water meth nozzle. So how much we need to reduce that by is really going to depend on how much water meth solution we're trying to bring into the engine and the blend ratio between how much water and methanol. We might have 100% methanol, we might have a 50-50 blend, we might have 75 meth, 25% water. It's going to depend on how much fuel reduction that needs to happen. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the tutorial, but we need to offset, reduce our fuel when the water meth is spraying and increase our spark timing and or increase our boost pressure and be able to take advantage of our water meth. So what we're going to find here is that we can achieve that control strategy through the Haltech as we outlined in the last tutorial, but we can directly control the water meth pump and integrate the same fail-safe strategies as we would get with an AEM kit or an Aquamist kit without purchasing a pricey kit. We can actually purchase just the components to essentially build our own kit. So that's what I'm going to be outlining here in this tutorial. How we can build our own water meth injection kit, how we can program that here in our Haltech, and then seeing the abilities that we have directly controlling that pump. Let's take a look at a schematic and let's break down the components that we need to purchase and how things need to be wired. And then we'll talk about the setup and configuration and then some of the programming details. So the first thing we're going to find here, taking a look at the schematic that's coming up on screen, we're going to find that our Haltech Elite here is going to be the center of everything. And the components that we're going to have to go in and work with, we're going to first need a water meth nozzle. And that could be from AEM, that could be from Devil's Own, Aquamist. You're going to have to purchase a nozzle. You also want to purchase a solenoid or a check valve. The check valve is going to shut off the flow into that water meth nozzle so that it can't siphon any additional water meth solution into the engine if the water meth injection isn't working. Always run that check valve. The next component here is going to be the actual water meth pump. This is what pumps the fluid from our tank, which we're going to find here over to the right, into the pump and then into the engine. All kinds of different options on the market. You'll have to go and source whatever pump you're going to find that's specific for water meth injection. I would recommend, if you're going to go this route, you're sourcing your own water meth pump, purchase one that's able to run 100% methanol continuously. That means the pump is going to be essentially overbuilt. Even if you don't plan to run 100% methanol, you don't have to worry about it failing. The next thing we do find here is our tank. Now the tank that we're running should have a fluid level sensor inside of it. The AEM tank, you can purchase that just on its own, does have that fluid level sensor. So if the fluid level gets too low, we can use and implement a fail-safe strategy to build that into the Haltech to be able to rev the engine. We don't have to worry about damaging things because when we're spraying the water meth, we're going to be advancing the timing or boost and pulling away fuel. If all of a sudden we run low on fluid and we're not essentially integrating that fail-safe capability in the Haltech.
Thanks for checking out our teaser clip. If you want to see the rest of this video and more than 500 hours of current EFI training we have to offer, make sure you click right here. If you want to go and check out more teaser clips from this training course, click here, and you don't want to miss any of the videos we're going to be releasing on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and click here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.